Hello, everyone. I was asked, how should I be introduced? Well, I guess I've done a thing or two in my life, but if my brother wouldn't have been in the tunnels in Gaza right now, I probably wouldn't have been here. I probably wouldn't have been invited to speak here. And I've lived for 65 years, and all these 65 years can now be summed in one sentence: the brother of Itzik Elgarat, who's being held hostage in Gaza. This is me. And I cannot say that I'm proud of it. I can say that I'm proud of the fact that I'm Itzik Elgarat's brother, but the fact that he's being held hostage in Gaza, I think it's a disgrace to us all. For all of us, all the people sitting in this room, all the people who live in this country and who kept silent and allowed things to happen and only cared about his or her own personal interest, about their personal family, made sure that their investment portfolio in the stock exchange will grow, and only cared and cared, but cared about themselves. We saw this disaster unfolding, and yet we only cared about ourselves. The chief commissioner of the police just stood here, and I truly respect him. We served together at the same time. I was the commander of the Ashdod police station, and he was the commander of the Iran police station, and I can tell you unequivocally, those who determine the level of violence in a public protest, that's the police. It's the police that determines the level of violence in any public disorder. How? Because a police force that comes unprepared and not sufficiently trained, without means, without intel, without proper preparedness for a demonstration, and when its main flagship is the Machtazit, the truck that has water hoses, then it's insufficient. I participated in huge protests with the ultra-Orthodox in Ashdod and in other places. When you come unprepared, the stage when you pass on to violence, that comes very quickly, very soon. And because you come unprepared, you come frustrated, and you come after they try to instill in you a policy of violence, of standing firm. And if there's someone like Ami Eshed there, then he should be fired. And that's how you slowly create a violent organizational culture. And the commanders, if they keep silent, they do keep silent. Look, 2 days ago, I was lying in bed, and I decided to write a letter to Bibi. But I guess it wasn't me who decided to write the letter. It was actually my brother who wrote the letter, and I'd like to read you the letter that my brother wrote 2 days ago to Bibi at 2 a.m. By the way, I want you to understand, I came here under an alias. I wasn't invited. We weren't invited. You were supposed to go through the day without any representative of the hostage families. So this is what my brother wrote to Bibi at 2 a.m. Hi, Bibi. I'm here, held captive by Hamas in the tunnel for 8 months now. During this period, Hamas has been telling us that you've given up on us. I didn't believe them. I thought rather that perhaps Israel lost its capabilities and were focused on survival, and that you're no longer the prime minister, that you've stopped being prime minister a long time ago. So we're all in the same situation. I'm also just surviving here. Today, Hamas decided to show us your interview on Channel 14 News. Surprisingly enough and disappointingly enough, I saw you and I understood that Hamas was right. You carried on. You continued. You've given up on me and on all the other hostages. I saw you just like in the good old days, surrounded by love, feeling so proud of yourself, as if nothing has happened. The way I see the Hamas here, they're far from being defeated. Very far from being defeated, and it's true that they're saying that you don't even know where we're held, and it's not really a priority for you. But more than the fact that I'm disappointed in you, I'm disappointed with the Israeli people who allow you to give up on us. I guess the situation in Israel is so bad that people are only concerned with themselves right now. I hope that my family is fighting after all to try to convince you to bring us back home. Over the past few months, I've seen many hostages who didn't survive, who didn't make it, and I'm certain that you didn't know who they are. As time goes by, we disappear, we slowly fade away, and the number of those who are alive is reduced. And just yesterday, we were informed that El Atrash is no longer alive. Many of my friends from Kibbutz Nir Oz are no longer with us, and I'm telling you, it was possible to save them. I didn't go out to war and was caught and taken as a hostage. I was taken from my home, and I knew that if something would ever happen, you would be there. You abandoned me, and now I see that you keep abandoning me. The Hamas is taking care of me more than you do right now. They care about my life more than you do right now. After having seen you on Channel 14, I lost all hope. I'll try to survive until I breathe my very last breath. I have no faith in you. I have no trust in you. You've betrayed me and my friends. And I hope that this country, after all, will manage to survive you. Itzik Elgarat, resident of Gaza. Guys, they've been residents of Gaza for 8 months now. They're no longer residents of the state of Israel. And we can see a prime minister who's fooling all of us, and we're collaborating with him. We're simply collaborating. Anybody who doesn't go out to the streets to protest together with us. No. I'm sorry, we can't hear the sound. There's a problem with the sound. So all those who don't come out to the streets with us and call out is collaborating. The president of the state of Israel is a collaborator. Arnon Bar David is a collaborator. All the people who are part of the economic leadership of this country and have an impact on such a great number of people, a large population, the civilian population, and do not take the streets with us, they're collaborating. History will ultimately judge all those who didn't dare to grow a backbone and stand up to this bibism and simply allowed him to do whatever he wants with us. He knows that there won't be a deal. We know that there won't be a deal. The day that the deal will be signed and the hostages will come back home, he'll have to go. And he knows that very well. We all know that as long as Ben Gvir is there, Ben Gvir who talk about an irresponsible deal, I would like to ask you, is there a more irresponsible deal than the deal between Bibi and Ben Gvir, and to let him be the Minister of Homeland Security? Is there greater irresponsibility than that? Believe you me, I was in the police from the sappers unit, and I know him from my previous capacity. I also took care of the Jewish underground. I know these people from up close, and they're terrorists. And they're the ones who are managing the state of Israel today, and they decide whether there will be a deal or whether there will be a war. And the prime minister, who once, they would promise a Mitsubishi car or coalitionary agreement or money, today the prime minister promises war. He promised Ben-Gvir a war. Just don't leave the government. And we are paying such a very heavy, dear price for this war, day in, day out. And I'd like to call upon to anyone who cares about this country, anyone who cares about his or her children, anybody who cares about their grandchildren, stop sitting at home. Stop sitting at home. Get up and go out to the streets. Take the streets. Get up in the morning, look at yourselves in the mirror after a day you spent at a protest, a demonstration, and smile. Smile and say, okay, we've overcome our indifference. Because ultimately, if that's not going to happen, then this country will collapse. And it won't happen in a gradual process. I'm telling you, it won't be a process. One morning, we'll get up and we'll see that we just can't take it anymore. That's what's going to happen. And that will also come as a surprise. So, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Amos, for giving me the opportunity to speak here. Thank you. And I would like to apologize to the security guard here for the incident we had at the beginning. But these are our lives, unfortunately, the lives of the families of hostages. We go to places and we get rejected, and we reach sometimes bad places, and the Israeli society must understand you are all the families of the hostages. We've all been abducted, folks. On October 7th, I wear this yellow Star of David, which says October 7th on it, because there was a Holocaust here on October 7th. And anybody who tries to say we were surprised or it was a disaster, a massacre, the Hamas are brutal, as if we didn't know that Hamas are brutal. We gave them the opportunity, and boy, did they take it. And we need to say, we need to know, this is it, game over. We have to stop the war, go back to the October 6 borders, bring back the hostages, to release the terrorists, to rehabilitate ourselves. And hopefully we'll know how to settle the score with them in the future. Thank you.